Defining conservative fiscal policy: less is more. Conservative fiscal policy champions limited government involvement in the economy. It prioritizes lower taxes and reduced government spending. This approach aims to empower individuals and businesses, fostering economic growth through free markets. Essentially, it's the belief that prosperity flourishes when government interference is minimal. Conservatives argue that a smaller government with less spending and lower taxes creates a more dynamic and prosperous economy. They believe individuals and businesses, not the government, are best equipped to make economic decisions. This approach, they argue, leads to greater innovation, job creation, and overall economic well-being. Reining in government spending: why smaller is better. Conservatives often view excessive government spending as a drain on the economy. They argue that large bureaucracies can be inefficient and wasteful, diverting resources from more productive uses. By reducing government expenditures, conservatives aim to free up capital for private investment, which they believe drives innovation and job growth. Consider a government program with good intentions but burdened by bureaucracy and inefficiency. Taxpayer dollars intended for a worthy cause might get bogged down in administrative overhead, delivering fewer benefits than intended. Conservatives argue that redirecting those funds to the private sector, where competition drives efficiency, would yield better outcomes. Unleashing growth: the power of tax cuts. Tax cuts are a cornerstone of conservative fiscal policy. Lower taxes leaves more money in the pockets of individuals and businesses. This stimulates the economy in two primary ways. First, individuals have more disposable income to spend or invest, boosting demand. Second, businesses facing lower tax burdens are more likely to invest in expansion, hire more workers, and increase wages. Imagine a single mother working 2 jobs to make ends meet. A tax cut puts more money in her pocket each month. She might use this extra income to buy necessities, stimulating demand for goods and services. Or she might invest in her education, increasing her earning potential in the long run. Trusting the market: a conservative approach to solutions. Conservatives often advocate for market-based solutions over government intervention. They believe that free markets, driven by competition and the pursuit of profit, are generally more efficient at allocating resources and solving problems. Government intervention, they argue, can distort markets, stifle innovation, and create unintended consequences. Consider the housing market. Government-imposed rent controls, while intended to make housing more affordable, can lead to shortages. When landlords can't charge market rates, they may have less incentive to maintain properties or build new ones, exacerbating the very problem rent control sought to address. Section 5. Education: a case for market-based solutions. In education, conservatives often champion school choice and competition. They argue that giving parents more control over their children's education through vouchers or tax credits empowers them to choose schools that best meet their children's needs. This, they believe, fosters competition among schools, incentivizing them to improve quality and efficiency to attract students. Imagine a family living in a low-income neighborhood with limited educational options. School choice programs could empower these parents to send their child to a higher performing school outside their district, expanding their child's opportunities. Section 6. Healthcare: free markets versus government intervention. Conservatives often advocate for market-based reforms in healthcare. They argue that increasing competition among insurance providers and healthcare providers, coupled with greater price transparency, can drive down costs and improve quality. They often oppose government-run healthcare systems, arguing that they lead to higher costs, longer wait times, and reduced innovation. Conservatives might point to the high costs and long wait times associated with some government-run healthcare systems as evidence of their inefficiencies. They argue that empowering consumers to make healthcare decisions based on cost and quality, rather than relying on government-determined coverage, would incentivize providers to be more responsive to patient needs. Section 7. Environmental protection: the market's role in conservation. While often associated with environmental deregulation, many conservatives believe in market-based approaches to environmental protection. They argue that property rights, market incentives, and technological innovation can be powerful tools for conservation. For example, they might support policies that reward companies for reducing pollution or incentivize consumers to adopt environmentally friendly practices. Consider a program that allows companies to trade pollution permits. This market-based approach creates an economic incentive for companies to reduce their emissions. Those that can reduce pollution cheaply can sell their permits to companies facing higher costs, leading to an overall reduction in pollution at a lower cost than traditional regulatory approaches. Section 8. The bottom line: prosperity through fiscal conservatism. Conservative fiscal policies, centered around limited government, lower taxes and free markets, aim to create an environment where individuals and businesses can thrive. By reducing the burden of government and empowering the private sector, conservatives believe they can unleash economic growth, create jobs, and improve the lives of all citizens. They argue that a rising tide lifts all boats and a strong economy benefits everyone. While critics argue that these policies can exacerbate income inequality and neglect essential social programs, conservatives maintain that a thriving economy ultimately benefits everyone, creating more opportunities for upward mobility and a larger tax base to fund essential services. Section 9. A call for fiscal responsibility. Conservative fiscal policies represent a particular vision of the role of government in the economy. They prioritize individual liberty, free markets, and limited government intervention. Whether one agrees with these principles or not, understanding the rationale behind conservative fiscal policy is essential for engaging in informed debates about the best path to economic prosperity and a just society. And ultimately, the goal of any economic policy, regardless of ideological underpinnings, should be to create a society that works for everyone. Achieving this requires open dialogue, a willingness to consider different perspectives, and a commitment to finding solutions that benefit all members of society.